I wonder if you can just talk us through what will happen for trucks coming the other way. So trucks turning up at Calais, we don't know what proportion of them won't have the right documentation. What would happen to them? Would they be checked as they go onto the ferry as well? Who would do that checking, and what are the requirements that they'd have to meet?
No, there wasn't going to be a process of, certainly we weren't asking the French to check trucks before they got onto the ferry or Eurotunnel. And we wouldn't, the aim, again, unless something has changed, the aim was not to implement a formal routine check on every truck as it entered the UK. So that's why, so long as trucks, there were enough lorries that weren't being held up in Kent, then imports would not be slowed by British customs and other controls.
Right, so on that basis, can we be reasonably relaxed about food supplies coming into the UK?
No, because there are only so many trucks, and if you've got 6,000 or 10,000 trucks stuck in a queue in Kent, then they are not going to be able to go across to Europe, pick up the food and bring it back. So some will, of course, but it will be a lot slower. That's the main source of the delay on foods, is because the trucks are held up, stuck in a queue this side.
Yeah, I mean, just to reinforce that, a third of the trucks going back are empty. So they've brought the food over, they've brought it to us so we can sell it, and they're going back empty to pick up the next load from Spain or Holland or wherever. So it's just a continuous circle. I mean, the supply chain moves 24/7. If you have a dislocation wherever it is in that circle, then it affects the food supply chain. So it doesn't really matter whether it's this side of the channel or the other side of the channel. If you break that circle, then that's a problem.
But if you've got a truck bringing food in and then going straight back, presumably it'll have no difficulty going back because it won't have a load that needs to be checked.
It'll be in a queue behind all of those other ones.
It will be, yes, it will be in a queue. So that's the problem. At the time, so 30%, as Andrew says, 30% of trucks going through Dover-Calais are empty. And they will be able to go through, they won't be held up, of course. So that increases the flow through Dover-Calais. That's not the case at Eurotunnel, because empty trucks tend to go through Dover-Calais because it's cheaper, so they won't pay the extra premium if they're empty. So they can certainly go across and pick up goods, but the issue is, you know, they're stuck for a day in a queue in Kent before they actually get as far as Dover.
Just one final point, if I may, Chair. There was a bit of confusion at the end of August about whether UK businesses need one EORI number, a GB number, or two, whether they need an EU EORI number as well. Has that now been clarified?
My understanding, it probably has, and I don't know the official answer to this, but my understanding was always there were two separate numbers, a GB number and a French number. But
yeah, that is true. Yes, because you're effectively interacting with two different
customs authorities.
Right.
So they're a similar number. They look similar, but one has GB at the start of it, I think.
Right.
And one.
But I mean, you made the point to us that lots of UK businesses don't have a GB EORI number. I mean, presumably they won't. I mean, the proportion that have got a French EORI number will be less still.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, but it's certainly there are two completely separate processes. And if they are going to trade in both directions, they need both. But if they're only trading in one direction, obviously, then they only need one.
And we have successfully persuaded HMRC to issue automatically an EORI number to every VAT registered business that they are aware of. So if you like, everyone's going to get one. So hopefully that will initiate a process that says, I now need to register and
but that'll just be a GB EORI number, not a French.
We'll still need an EU one, which of course is not something we can,
no.
Is in the UK's gift to deliver.